Hey yo, what's up guys? Today I will be reacting to just how good was Jari Litmanen. I don't know. I was too little when he was playing, so I don't really remember. I know that he was playing for the Ajax team when Juventus lost the Champions League final. I don't know if the next year when we won it, he was still there. I don't know. I definitely should learn more about this type of players that my generation don't know much about. So let's just check out the video and learn something new, shall we?
Lots of times we talk about players who weren't likely to succeed at all, but today we talk about a player whose success was nearly determined at birth. There is a catch though. In the same way his success was determined by his genetics, so was his downfall. Welcome to the career of the Man of Glass, Jari Litmanen.
The Man of Glass, that is such a cool nickname.
I'd like to remind you to like the video. I don't say this enough around here, but
is it because he will get injured easily? That's why they call him the Man of Glass. Then it wouldn't be such a good nickname, I guess.
it helps the channel so much, and it's really the best way for you to help the channel if you like my videos or if you think this one in particular is interesting. So please press the like button, and also of course if you're new here and like what you see, subscribe and turn on notifications to make sure you'll get to see every video I upload. So getting back into it.
Yeah, Ajax was so good at the time.
Jari Litmanen, a Finnish international and a player for FC Lahti. And Alice Litmanen, who played for the Finnish women's national team and for FC Lahti as well. Although he would also play ice hockey until the age of 15, he would eventually decide to focus on football as well. After all, what more can...
Bro, what? In ice hockey, you're 15 and you already got your name on the sweater. That's crazy. I remember when I used to play football when I was young. We just have the t-shirts, the jersey to wear, but they would never put your name. They would just put random numbers. That's crazy. So you're actually a professional when you're 15. Wow. I gotta learn much more about ice hockey. I don't know that much.
Be sad. At this point, it was just a family business. And so, at 16, he made his professional debut for local club Reipas Lahti. This club was one of the poorest squads in the Finnish top flight. When Litmanen arrived, they were struggling to get more than 10 points in the league after a full season of 22 matches. But over the 4 seasons he spent at the club, Jari was able to significantly impact their performances. By the last season with them, Jari would get 14 league goals, inspiring them to a 5th place finish that would qualify them to the championship playoffs, where they'd eventually make the 3rd place match, only to get hammered 6-1 by MP Mikkeli. Still, this was an amazing achievement for this club, when it won the league since the year before Jari was born, when his father still played there. These performances caught the eye of other Finnish teams, would start preying on this impressive youngster, with HJK being the club that would get to sign him. He would only stay there for 1 season, before once again changing clubs and joining MIPA. This single season with HJK would be enough to demonstrate how incredible Litmanen had been for Reipas Lahti.
Isn't it
Without him, would plummet down the
right
table,
pronunciation?
finishing the season with 8 points in 22 matches, showing just how incredible of a carry job Litmanen had pulled. His first season at MIPA would be his big break. Though he would watch his former club HJK win the Finnish league without him, it would be essential as MIPA won the Finnish Cup, scoring in the final with a magnificent chip over the goalkeeper. To his luck, there was an Ajax scout in the stands.
That was clean. That was clean.
Performance, and so came his big break. Joining Ajax and playing under Louis van Gaal was essential for the...
Wow, that is crazy though. If you think about it, you're playing the Finnish league. And back in the days, football, yes, football was already huge, but I don't know. I think nowadays it will be easier to be scouted if you play in a lower league, but back in the days, I don't think it was that easy, right?
Finish number 10.
And Ajax was one of the best in Europe.
In the main squad, Litmanen would be forced to play mainly with the reserves for the first year in Amsterdam, and by the end of it,
I like the
600 minutes he had played for the main team had led to no goals, and Van Gaal was quite simply unimpressed. There was a sense that Litmanen was not mentally equipped to take on a league like the Eredivisie. But then Van Gaal started playing him, in a way out of necessity, as Bergkamp got injured and then left for Inter Milan. But still, why go for a player from the reserves? Well, as the story goes, it would be the physiotherapist that would make the suggestion that Litmanen should play instead of Bergkamp. What followed? 27 goals in 22 matches. That's only 3 goals less than Bergkamp managed in his best season to date, and in half the matches played. By the end of the season, Ajax had won the league with Litmanen far outweighing any of his teammates in the top scorers list. And it wasn't like Ajax had other serious contenders. They had a 21-year-old Mark Overmars and a 17-year-old Kanu.
Was that Cliver?
On the same note, I should mention that the squad was exceptional. Besides those two, it also contained the likes of the De Boer brothers, Edgar Davids, Clarence Steedorf...
My god, Davids! Oh my god. I still remember when he was playing for Juventus with his crazy glasses. Oh my god, he was so cool and so good too. Oh my god, I mean, it's crazy. The skills that guy had was unbelievable.
On goal and Frank Rijkaard.
Van der Sar.
With a squad like...
Wait, is that a Van der Sar?
Clarence Steedorf, Van der Sar on goal, and Frank Rijkaard. With a squad like this, even if you're completely unaware of what followed, you just knew it had to be greatness. In this squad, Van Gaal had made sure that there was no space for a superstar. There would be no player roaming around with flicks and tricks. They were as utilitarian as they got. They always had the simple goal of getting the job done, and that was all.
Bro, what the fuck was with Suarez?
No time to smile for the cameras, and if you know Litmanen, then you know he was the perfect man for the job. I'll leave you with a quote from an Ajax technical director, David Ent. I looked at his face and I looked at his eyes and I recognized something in those eyes and I thought, this is a man with great willpower because he was not shy, not timid, but he was modest. He is not a man who will raise his voice or bang his fist on the table and say, we do it this way. No. He was more of a diplomat, not wanting to be a leader, but being a leader. He wanted to know everything about football. He was interested in every part of the game. And this gave him the nickname. Within the team, we called him the Professor, because you could ask him anything about football, and he would know the answer. Litmanen, despite all his talent, was Ajax's first line of defense, and he not only knew that, but he was humble enough to let go of opportunities to show off his skill in order to help the team. The following season would be one for the history books. Despite the impending doom brought upon Ajax by mighty Ronaldo still in his teenage years that would get 30 league goals for PSV, Ajax would manage to win the league in the best way possible, with 0 defeats and 106 goals in 34 matches. To add to all of this, they would also have an incredible Champions League campaign, coming out of the group stage unbeaten despite being drawn in the same group as the mighty AC Milan of the mid-90s, who they would beat twice by a margin of 2 goals, with Litmanen scoring in both matches. They would get a favorable draw in the quarterfinals and
I think my favorite goals are the chip. Oh my god. Those chip goals are just... Oh my god. Whoop. Oh my god, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. We call it cucchiaio. It's like spoon in Italian. That's that term was I think it was cognated by Totti, if I'm not mistaken. So like, I would do the spoon. I would do the spoon. I love those goals.
Split before getting Bayern in the semis, where after a goalless first leg, Litmanen would open the score sheet in a thrilling 5-2 match in favor of Ajax, who were now on to the final, where they only needed to defeat AC Milan one more time in order to make history and win the Champions League for the first time since Johan Cruyff's Ajax won it 3 times in a row. Unfortunately, Litmanen would be heavily marked by Desai, who had the help of Baresi and Maldini for the task, and would be rendered nearly useless in the final, with Van Gaal shockingly deciding to sub him off in the 69th minute for Kluivert. But in the end, all was well, as it would be Kluivert himself who would get the winning goal in the dying minutes of the match. Even though the final was a poor showing, Litmanen was now the first ever Finn to win the Champions League. This season had shown the world just how good he could be. In a way, he was like the second coming of Johan Cruyff, not just because of his intellect and fascination for the sport or because he was the new Ajax number 10, but because he had one characteristic that only a few players shared with Cruyff. He took his weaknesses and made them strengths. He wasn't the strongest or the speediest player, but his mind operated at such a high level that he was able to see the game like no one else on the pitch. The following season, it would seem like nothing had changed. Right from September, Litmanen would go on a crazy goal-scoring streak, getting 16 goals in 18 matches before New Year's, finishing the calendar year of 1995 with 35 goal contributions in 41 matches. The Champions League, the league title, the Dutch Super Cup, the Intercontinental Cup, and soon after, the European Super Cup. The stars had lined up for Litmanen, and so the voting reflected his displays on the pitch. Litmanen would make the podium of the Ballon d'Or in third place, only behind Jorge Weah, who faced him in the final of the Champions League, and Jurgen Klinsmann, who had not won any trophies that year, but was also experiencing some of the most incredible goal-scoring form of his career, now that he had joined Bayern from Tottenham. It could be argued that Litmanen deserved to win since he had won the double, and I could see why people would think that, but now it's just too late to change any of that.
Oh yes, I mean the Ballon d'Or is always questionable so much. Even when Juventus beat the Ajax in the Champions League final, Del Piero should have won it. He never did. I mean, even that year that the Italy won the World Cup and they gave it to Cannavaro was like, I don't know, I don't get it. They should have gave it to Buffon. Yeah, every year is pretty much questionable right now. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. Most Ballon d'Or are very, very questionable. I don't know. Tell me if you agree to that or not, but I think so.
What matters is that Litmanen was now referred to as Merlin by the Ajax fans due to all the magic ways he managed to escape tackles. In the second half of the season, Litmanen would keep pushing in the Champions League. Once he met Panathinaikos in the semi-finals, it would be the 19th Champions League match of his career.
Damn!
And his first ever defeat in the competition. Incredible how he managed to go so long without losing. Regardless, in the second leg, they would bounce back with 2 goals by Jari himself, which would lead them to the final of the competition. Once more, they would face an Italian giant, this time Juventus, and the match would be played in Italy as well, in the Stadio Olimpico de Roma. Juve's form contrasted heavily with that of Ajax. They had only won 2 games of their last 6 in the competition, while Ajax had only lost 1 in the last 2 years, despite the senior Rijkaard and Seedorf.
That was the best Juventus jersey. Right there. This one was the best ever. I think I should still have as a one that I was wearing when I was a child of this one, the blue one with the yellow stars. That was so beautiful. My favorite.
Ajax, including one by Davids, would move to Italy the following season.
Good memories.
And Juventus were champions.
Good memories, since they always steal us the Champions League final. I still remember against Real Madrid, they stole us that game. Against Barcelona, there was a huge penalty. Okay, against Real Madrid the last time, no, because I don't know what the fuck went on. But yeah, against Barcelona, there was a huge penalty for Drogba when it was like the 70th minute of the... Yeah, it was the 17th minute. So imagine, we score 2-1, there's 20 minutes to go. Oh my god. We win the Champions League there, probably. I don't know, but whatever. What can you do? So yeah, that was deserved.
Manen, with his 9 goals in the competition, would be the top scorer. If Litmanen then,
that's
as he came back in December, he got a second one, ruling him out until February. Once he came back, the team was 5th place in the table, and with several of their keepers' surgery, the season would end in disaster. Which would only be an heavier blow, as an injured Litmanen had just watched him. It just seems that the award was not in the cards for Litmanen. Regardless, in a way the following season would be a return to form, and the last ever great season for Litmanen contribute 19 goals in 26 matches as Ajax absolutely destroyed the league, with a 17-point advantage over second place and 112 goals, a year in which Ajax was also greatly helped by Shota Arveladze, who would get 25 league goals himself. But then, the worst happened. In November of the following season, he was struck by bad luck once more, and an injury in his Achilles tendon left him out for nearly 4 months. Once he was back, it was clear that this one had ruined him for good. It just wasn't the same player. It honestly seemed like he would be rapidly fading away from the greatest stage. But one strike of good luck sent him on a new adventure. Van Gaal was now coaching FC Barcelona, and he kept signing Dutch footballers in hopes of reliving the success he had with Ajax. So, following the transfers of the De Boer brothers, and even Kluivert, Van Gaal went on a limb and signed Litmanen. By the end of that debut season, Barcelona had lost 12 of the 38 matches they played in the league. Normally that would mean a horrible placement, but that year everyone was sort of underperforming, and so they managed to stay in second place, just 5 points short of being champions. Regardless, they would finish the season trophyless, and Litmanen would spend the entire year trying to fit in with the squad, only to constantly fail and remain as second choice. His body was failing him, and it was clear, everyone could see. His legacy was being torn to shreds, and one pundit would even mock him, saying Litmanen is like the Pope. He rarely shows his face, and when he does, he looks more frail than ever. With the sacking of Van Gaal, there was no reason for Litmanen to stay, and Barcelona were so underwhelmed with his performances that they simply allowed him to leave on a free transfer. Still, it seemed someone still believed he had the skills necessary to make the cut at one of the largest teams in Europe. So, he joined Liverpool, though it should be said that he had to wait until the winter market to finally find himself a new home. 11 matches into his time at Merseyside, the first injury came and he was gone for the rest of the season, watching from home as Liverpool won the FA Cup
what a
and even
score!
the UEFA Cup, a trophy that he would still get to emulate. The second season would be the confirmation that he was incapable of playing a full season. Litmanen, who saw Houllier initially boast about the world-class player that he had just added to the squad, now saw him publicly
What was the goalkeeper doing?
couldn't manage 90 minutes of playing time. Still, his time at Liverpool wasn't completely fruitless. Many grew in love with the player because if you look at it, when he did play, he was still averaging around a goal every 200 minutes and was the player he most enjoyed watching in his teenage years. That he was almost magical. After all, this man of glass was once the greatest magician in all of Europe. What shocks me the most about Litmanen is for how long he extended his career. After Liverpool informed him he
At
was
the age
allowed
of
to leave,
40.
he went back to Ajax. He was welcomed back as a legend, but he seemed to be struggling more and more. His second season there would be spent nearly entirely on the sidelines, leading him to move back to Finland and join FC Lahti, where both his parents had played. He wouldn't stay there for long, as
that's
German club
nice.
Hansa Rostock proposed that he join them in their quest not to get relegated midway through the season. He accepted, but to no avail, only managing one goal for them as they eventually got relegated. Then he joined Malmö FC, but it's barely even worthy of mentioning, even though he spent 3 seasons there. Hard to believe, but he would only manage 13 matches over that time and average a goal per season. Then he joined Fulham, an odd move, but one that deserves mentioning for how unbelievably tumultuous it was. So, once again he joined midway through the season to save them from relegation, but then, just about every bad thing happened to the man. First he had some heart problems which left him worried for his life, then he had an ankle injury and then a groin injury, and just as people were losing their patience with him, he joined the squad for training for an upcoming practice match, and a 21-year-old Portuguese goalkeeper named Ricardo Batista smashed the ball into the back of his head,
the
knocking him out
Portuguese.
cold. Roy Hodgson, Fulham coach at the
Ricardo
time,
Batista.
would refer to Litmanen as the unluckiest fella he ever came across. And in a way, people just accepted he would never put on a Fulham shirt. Though, it did happen once, well, kind of. He played a match for the reserves before leaving the team for good. To finish it all off, he played 3 more seasons for FC Lahti and 1 for HJK, where, despite approaching 40 years of age, he managed to play more matches per season than he had for any other team since his time in Liverpool 7 years prior. Of course, I need to mention he was, in a way, unlucky to play for Finland. He is easily one of the best players to have never played in an international tournament, despite his 32 goals in 137 matches with the national team. Litmanen didn't play to look pretty, he didn't play to dazzle the crowds, he played to win and to get the job done. He was extremely efficient in every aspect of the game he dedicated his mind to. If you needed someone to turn the cogs and make the machine keep turning, Litmanen was the man for you. Some may argue his injuries ruined his career and prevented him from asserting himself as an all-time great, but to me, I think he had done more than enough already to justify his spot. And so, let's get into the ranking system. Taking into account the sort of defensive duties he was given and his role as a whole, his goal scoring numbers are shocking, so finishing would be a 9 out of 10. Playmaking is easily another 9 out of 10, so is dribbling. Even though he wasn't the most beautiful of dribblers, he was incredibly effective with his movements. In terms of speed and physicality, he wasn't mind-blowing at either, but very competent at both, a 7 out of 10. Mentality is hard to judge in my opinion. He missed a bit of the edge I'd expect a player with a great score to get, but people always speak so highly of him and his work ethic. So it just has to be a 9 out of 10. Longevity and adaptability is such a mixed bag. He played for 24 years, but most of them were either in a lower league or after he was way too frail to manage a full season of playing. So I don't know, to be honest, but 7 seems fair. In terms of flair, it's just one of those that can go either way. People have always mentioned how he wasn't the most beautiful player to watch, but his efficiency can be seen as entertaining, so an 8 should be good. And also, it's not like he wasn't capable of dribbling in a aesthetically pleasing way, he just seemed to avoid it when it wasn't at all necessary. His trophy cabinet is exceptional considering how short his prime was. He just missed on a Ballon d'Or, still easily a 9 out of 10. Icon factor is where the cookie crumbles, to be honest. Lots of people only have an idea of who he was. It might be hard for
yeah, that was me before
admit,
watching this video.
But he was forgotten in a way. It's a 6 out of 10. This totals out to 73 out of 90, tied with George Weah, coincidentally. Seems fair to me, to be honest. Don't forget you can vote in the description for the X Factor regarding whether you think Litmanen was a legend or just a great player. This could determine his place in the ranking, so don't forget. Also, I'd like to show I've added Fernando Torres' X Factor to the table. He got voted in the elite category and this is his placement. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. This was Jari Litmanen's career in a video. Pretty interesting in my opinion. I gotta admit I didn't know as much about him as I know about some other players, but I was really impressed to hear about the man, and I think I also learned a lot this time around. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
See you next week and bye.
Wow. We should definitely, since we're reacting to football, we should definitely react to what Leicester did. Oh my god. Yeah, I still remember it like it's yesterday. I mean, it doesn't been that long ago, but you know, it was really incredible. I think everyone in Europe was so happy about it. Even if you were a fan of another team in England, you must have been happy about what they did. Come on. That was incredible. That was truly incredible. This video was really interesting. I mean, that's the main theme. Many football players, they are so freaking good, and then unfortunately they are unlucky. They maybe they lack mentality. They get too much injured and they cannot do enough. Like take for example Ronaldo, the phenomenon. I mean, if he wouldn't have many of those troubles, definitely would have been one of the best, like Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. There's no doubt about that. Even Ronaldinho, you know? Yeah, I think so. Even though Ronaldinho, well, yes, he had these injuries too, definitely. Many injuries too. But he lacked a little bit the mentality. Kind of like Cassano and Balotelli, they could have been the best ones. Even Roberto Baggio, if you think about it, so many injuries and they couldn't do as much as they could have done, you know. So I'm just saying that was pretty cool. Let me know if there's a video to check out also the career of Pukki, because I don't know, I just know him for the goals that he scores for Finland. I think he plays in America now, no? In MLS, if I'm not mistaken, for Minnesota. Before he was playing for Norwich in the championship. I don't know right now. I think he's in the MLS, but I'm not sure. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this reaction. If you want me to check out more football, let me know down in the comments, and I will see you on the next video.